Hi guys, how are you? Good. Alright, so you're having a good day. How's your week's been? Yeah.
Stressful.
Who's had stressful weeks? So, other than this week, who's ever had a stressful week and knows what it feels like to be like, oh my god, what am I doing with my life right now? Like, I have no idea. So, we're all leaders. It's inevitable that you're going to be in some kind of situation eventually where you're going to be under a lot of pressure. You're going to be under a lot of stress. So why am I telling you this? Like, what does that have to do with anything? As a leader, you need to be able to have control of your emotions, and you need to be able to control what you're thinking and what you're feeling, so that way in front of others you can keep it together, you can be conveying to them the message you still want to convey to them, right? So you want to be able to keep the task at hand. You don't want to have to be thinking about, oh my gosh, I have to do this, but wait, I have to do this at the same time, and be freaking out. Large organizations such as like the armed forces and large corporations often give classes in stress management because they understand that leaders are under a lot of stress. So what exactly is stress? Stress is a psychological and physiological response to events that upset our personal balances. Now, our bodies have what's called a fight or flight response. So something upsets you, something unbalances you in your life. And it's a natural instinct from way back when we were cavemen to either fight or like flee. So you have heart pounding. You get the sweats sometimes. You have tense muscles. You breathe faster, and your senses are on red alert. You feel like you're on the edge. It's a primitive response, and long-term stress like this can take a toll. So now that you know what stress is, what causes it? Causes of stress can be from almost anything in your life. Anything that causes you personal irritation. But chronic stress factors can stem from things such as emotional problems, relationships with your friends or family, surroundings such as your job, your living conditions, social situations, or even health problems that you may be worrying about or you may be fretting about. And I'm sure we all know what the symptoms of stress are. I mean, you understand how you're feeling and you're like, oh no. But there's different categories that they're put in. Cognitive, so you might have memory loss problems. So if you're stressed about a test, you need to be able to calm yourself down so that way you can remember the material that you're supposed to be studying. There's going to be physical problems. Sometimes it's insomnia, sometimes it's nausea, sometimes it's headaches that you get from working yourself up into such a frenzy. Other times it's behavioral, such as your eating and sleeping patterns, and you might isolate yourself from everyone. And sometimes it's emotional. You'll get moody. You'll feel that overwhelmed, what am I doing feeling. So you know what stress is, and you know the symptoms of stress. So how do we cope with that? It's important that you know how to do this because you need to be able to change your situation so that way you can lead others well, and that way it doesn't show that you're dealing with these issues and you're not 100% there for them to lead them and what you need to be there for them. So there are 4 strategies according to WebMD and Help Guide. The first one is to avoid unnecessary stressors. Sometimes people have problems saying no. You need to learn to say no to things that aren't necessary. You need to avoid stressful people. Everyone knows of someone that just is freaking out all the time and they kind of freak you out in turn. You being around them kind of freaks yourself out. And you need to cut down your to-do list. You need to learn what's a need and what's a want and go from there in your life, and it'll be a lot easier. The second thing is to alter the situation. You need to express your feelings instead of bottling them up. If it's a problem you have with someone, you need to compromise with other people instead of it having to be your way or all someone else's way. If you're compromised and meet halfway, it's going to make it a lot easier for everyone. And you need to manage your time better, whether this be by writing things down, by getting a planner, doing something so that way you know where you're going. The third thing is to accept what you cannot change. And this is one of the hardest things for people to do. Sometimes there are just things in your life that you cannot change that are going to stress you out. A lot of the time it's how other people act. You need to look for the upside in everything, which is really hard to do, and you need to just accept what's there. And that's going to be the biggest thing, but once you can do it, you'll be a lot less stressed. And the fourth thing is to adapt to the stressor. So look at the big problem, reframe the picture, adjust your standards. So a lot of us being leaders are very perfectionist. Who else is a perfectionist here? I mean, you want to do your best at absolutely everything you can. And sometimes doing your best doesn't mean you get 110%. You need to be able to let that down a little bit and make more of a realistic goal than doing above and beyond every single time. Because you're just going to wear yourself in and wear yourself out, like burning the candle at both ends. So now that you know the 4 steps that can release your stress, there are a few other tips like nurturing yourself, giving yourself time to relax, whether that means with friends or alone. You need to sleep more because that'll alleviate a lot of your stress, and have humor. Being able to laugh at yourself is the biggest tension relief you will ever imagine. It's a proven fact. In conclusion, knowing that you have a stressful situation, you need to be able to show others that you can handle it, because if you can handle it, you're going to show them that you know what you're doing. They're going to believe in you, they're going to trust you, and therefore they're going to follow you.